Part 1, my Omega friends. I have finished Part 1, my Omega friends. I have finished Part 1, my Omega friends. For when I shall start stage number 2, that shall still be part of number 1. For without 1, there is no 2. So whatever you do, 1 is a completion just like you. He gets 10 just like everybody else. So 10, and you go. So when you go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then you go back to 1 again, and that's where God stops. Gets out of his seat, stretches in the 7th inning, looks at the time. He says it's the top of the 8th. I mean, he's a 7th, sorry, it's the top of the 7th, or bottom of the 7th, 7.5, 57.75, and he stretches and he says, okay, 2 more innings to go, may as well move over to the next house, number 2. 2 innings to go, right, before the 9th, and that's the birth, what starts everything off. What I have just done is recreated time based on the birth cycle of not the egg, just the birth cycle of repetition of Omega. And this will show you that there's a chance that we are not running in the true sense of time. Because what I ran this time off of, where I got it, is I got part of it off of here, okay? And it comes on the 3 dice, okay? And then the 1 dice, okay? All alone. This is Wednesday. This is this is part of what Wednesday is all about, this 1 dice. Do you know why? Because Wednesday's between Tuesday and Thursday. There's the dot to get over Tuesday and Thursday. Both days of transmission, the letter T. Okay? So that's what it's about. It just jumps over because that's God's spirit in the middle, holding on to the because God's got to be Tuesday and Thursday. If God's not in the middle, who's going to do the beta creation? It's a Wednesday, a W. Miraculous. So this is what I came up with. 960 minutes, okay, in a 15-hour, 90 seconds a minute day, which totals in regular time, 960 minutes is equal to 1,440 minutes, which is 24 hours, as well as 960 minutes at 90 seconds a minute equals to 1,440 minutes. Which is the same thing. Now this is how it works. There are 64 metric minutes in an hour. Okay. There are, which equals 64 metric minutes, okay, in an hour equals to 96 regular minutes of 60 seconds. This is 64 metric minutes of 90 seconds. 64 metric minutes in an hour makes it 96 regular minutes. Then we go to, okay, 64 times 90 seconds, because my minutes are 90 seconds. Let's see if it works out. So I go 64 times 90 equals 5,760. So I take that number, now I divide it by 60, because we were looking at 90-second minutes. Okay, and we come back to 96 minutes in an hour, a metric hour, okay? A metric day is 15 hours. 15 is the 15th letter, it's Omega. 1 and 5 is A to E. 6 and 4 is 10, okay? 9 and 6 is birth of man. That's how it stretches out. The 1 spirit is the 1 hour. The 64 of the 90 birth, because God is the 10, and you're 9 times that, equals 5760, divided by 60 seconds, equals 96 minutes. 96 minutes. 96 minutes. In 64 metric minutes equals 96 regular minutes, is 1 hour in metric time. 90, 5 and 7 is 12, 18, 8 and 1 is 9, 9 and 6 is 15, 15th letter Omega, 9 and 6 is 15, 15 Omega, 1 spirit hour, 15 hours a day, omega again, equals 96 minutes in an hour, omega again. Okay, the total 15 hours a day, omega again. 96 minutes times 15 hours equals to 24 hours in a day. I showed you the two ways. Okay, and one of the things that you have to remember is it comes out to 555. 555, because all these worlds, okay, after you see all the omega eggs, I did a single, what I did is I removed 9 hours in the day, because man is that 9. Man took that time, okay, and it was put back there. Man was put back in by just adding a 0. So now you know there's 64 metric minutes in an hour. There's 15 hours in a day, because the clock don't go 2 times around. Clock only goes 1 time around. Okay, but it was so hard to put all that notch in there, they made it a little bit bigger. And the reason I'm doing this is because the closer the knit of the information, okay, into metric, the closer the movement and smoothness of the movement of time. So you move everything a little bit closer together, almost like they're in each other, and they can't go anywhere but be within each other forever and ever. Time is 47. Jesus, okay, are the gates of Delta, which is 2 and 2, okay, which is in the one spirit, the 4 angle, the 7th gate, all the same guy. It's all the same arm. While one goes in, 2 go out. Well, 2 go out, 1 goes in. The pedal boat. Don't you know that trick? You just crank the arm. You know, it's all ridiculous the way he shows it to you. But who are we as people? We're only students. We don't know anything about God or what he did or how he created anything. So when we talk about it and I talk about it like a child. Like the way a child would. This is the way he did it. Because that's the way I see it. If I should tell you any more, you would think so much less of what I say. Now you at least can laugh. Ha, what does he know? What a dummy, you know? But if your 7-year-old child comes up to you and says, hey, Daddy, let's go. Are you running on metric time? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's late. You know why everybody's late? Because we're all running on the wrong time. The number 5 time of 555 omega, okay, is to run on 5 time, because 3 parts of everything that's happening with us, really and truthfully, is not us at all, and has nothing to do with us. 3 out of 4. And you know how I know that? Because I took out my deck of cards this morning, and all I saw was the Joker sitting on the top, and I knew I was looking at a different kind of day today. 3 out of 4, my friends. 3 out of 4 dentists. 3 out of 4 years. 2 out of 3. You can't be in this corner if you're in that corner. You can be in this corner and that corner and look straight up. And be in this corner. You can't be looking at your corner when you're looking at 3 other corners. That is the shin. I look up to the left. I look up to the right. Then I just look straight ahead. I mean, it's just like when you're driving. It's all the same terminology. So we're going to go over it again. 960 metric minutes in a day. 64 metric minutes in 1 hour, which total a regular hour of 96 minutes of 60 seconds. Don't forget, these 64 metric minutes, they're 90-second minutes. Okay? You have to bring everything back to the way it began. So by running on these 60 seconds, we're not getting back to the beginning of time. We're getting to number 6. But the completion is to go back to 1 again. So that's why I changed this, because it didn't make any sense to me. If everything is based on omega and everything that goes around comes around, and a circle that goes around is figured out by pi that's continuously changing, but it's actually not, because pi is just a story next to another story. For every number you're going to add, another story is going to be written. Because for every minute that you're alive, if this is your only life, this is the first time God has to write this in his book. Therefore, changing the number in pi. But why is it like that? Because of that. That's the reason. That's the reason. Does it ever end? I bet you I can find an end to pi in a lot of places. Because you got to remember, you do the 7 count, you put numbers on each side. You can weasel them in. but you don't want to weasel them in, because if you weasel them in, you weasel out, everybody knows you're off by a point of something. But why is it continuously? Because each one's is telling a story. These numbers are dot to dot. They're connected dots. Everybody knows the image that you see at any one point is always factual to be 5. It's in between. You look at something, if you're not too judgmental, okay, and you can focus an understanding for the truth of this world, and you look at something, you would either say, it's okay, it's all right, I'm not interested, and some people will be really nasty about it, but I'm talking about the real in-between. Okay, you end up saying 3 different things, you end up thinking 5 different times, okay, looking at somebody beside you over and over, and then thinking whatever you said, if it's right or wrong. So this is not an easy world, and we have to understand, it's everybody around us should understand that it's a conscience world, okay? Now, whatever I'm saying, right, wrong, I don't know. It's a conscience world. If you're not conscious of what's going on, there's not going to be any world. Now, therefore, what's going on the outside with all these protests all over and with the governments wanting to take over, and it makes absolutely no sense at all why we just can't push over these governments. We know what is happening. Why can't we do it? Because the good Lord said, let us do it in the way. Do you know which way? Does anybody know? It's called the back door. Let them run into their own manure, okay? And when they get into the manure and it starts to stink and they panic, we'll know what to do next. They will give us the clue. They always have given us the clue. How we have adapted in accepting and taking and going forward with the understanding of what these clues were, we didn't even know they were there. But anyways, Raphael 7286. Metric time, 64 minutes. And not only that, the number for the octagon is 64. The number for fed, F-E-D, us to be fed, the chicks, who we are, number 64. 6 by 4 is the regular day. 6 plus 4 is 10 is who we are again. 6 by 4 is 24, plus 10 is 34. That's the number of the Baltic, and it's the number of number 1. Put them together, it says 77 Christ, the 2 islands of the Connect. It also connects to now the Mayan calendar, okay? You see, because there's a split in the week, and I didn't show you that. This is how it works. This is how the week works. 3 days is 45 hours. 1 day is 15 hours, and 3 days is 45 hours. Completion, 10-5, the 10 world of 5. And again, we get Omega, and the design off the dice even shows a 5 in itself. 90 is the birth, 10 and 5 is the world we come into play. And this is 105 hours a week. Now, how many hours is that in a year? I'm not quite sure. Okay, but that does not make up, okay, for the extra 0.25. Now, if you want to make up for the 0.25, it's very simple. 6 and 4, okay, when it gets together and comes into this world, 4 crosses over to 6, and 6 crosses over the 4. That's your 5 and 5. 5 by 5 is 25, and that's your 0.25 that you're missing for the rest of the year for 365.25 days, and we no longer need a leap year. And again, like I said, 7 times 15 makes 105, right? 7 times 15. The 7 of the Mayans, the 52. 7 times 15, 7 plus 15 is 22. The 52 of the Mayan, 30, creation, 22, life. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Another thing is, I got another answer in here. 5760 came up. In this whole calculation, oh yes, I forgot to show you. Hold on a second. I forgot to show you that inside the calculation of the seconds and the minutes, 57 in 1 metric minute. Now I have a total of 5,760 seconds. Okay, divided by 60 equals 96 minutes in a 64 metric minute hour. Now what I come up with here is because this is 5,760. The division of the Hebrew calendar was 3760. 2,000 years difference exactly. Exactly. 2,000 years difference exactly. 3-6 creation. It all works out. It all works out. Took me almost an hour to get that done, but I didn't finish the year and maybe coloring a new calendar. So I would like you to say something about this. I don't ask this very often, and I'm not putting my finger up for nothing. I just did a shop. I'd love to bring you to my fridge. I spent $50 on juice, and I said, the rest has no use. I need blood like a vampire. I need salt, and I need blood. Well, I'm getting my salt. I'm on those pills. I'm so lucky I'm sick. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. That's bad luck, is it not? I'm not sick. I'm in another world. I've been betrayed as sick. I'm a sick man. Take me away. Take me up to heaven. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to go up to heaven. Put me down 6 feet, shove my feet into the air, and let me be in peace. Raphael, 7286. Tell me what you think about my time, because now it's yours. Now we're going to really go deep into this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I do know I will never have time to end my story. Like I said, the eclipse has just come in. Up to September 15th, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 enactments that are going to be coming outside, and if something happens outside, then it happens inside. So if there's going to be 3 more on the outside, there's going to be 3 more on the inside. The next one is due on June 12th. Oh, this is also calculated from the same time that I just did. So if you want to know where it comes from that. And the first day is the 8th day. It's always the 8th day. You know what's funny? We go to 9, and you get picked up by 7, and you end up at 8. But at the end of it, you live in the ace hole. And everybody knows the ace hole center is the center. Everybody knows the center is number 5. The 9 came into the 5, E and I, and at the bottom they came into it also, E and I, E and I, E and I, and it was Omega, E, I, O, and away we go. Raphael, 7286. I don't think I want to go anywhere because I enjoy learning way too much. Thank you.